What's up guys, it's James from CopLogic. Welcome back to the channel. We've got some fresh links to talk about in regards to transfers today, so that's what we're going to jump into. So the player in question is Jean Clair-Todibo. And this story comes from Solomon Nisa, a journalist who works for First Group Media, a local news outlet in Nice. So this story is coming from the French side of things. And he says, Liverpool are one step ahead of Manchester United in the race to sign Jean Clair-Todibo this summer. Now, first of all, we're talking about a summer transfer again here, not one that would happen in this January transfer window, which already annoys me a little bit because I do think we're talking about centre-back here, and I think Liverpool need a centre-back right now in this January window, which I'll give my reasons why I think that in a little bit. But, you know, I think there are more important targets we should be focused on in the summer, the likes of Michael Olise or perhaps a CDM, something like that. So I already don't like the fact that this is talking about a summer transfer. But anyway, he goes on to say, the Reds are very attractive with an established coach like Klopp, a legendary stadium like Anfield, and history. They are top of the Premier League and have a quality squad. Todibo is very close to Konate, who is also from the Paris region like him. Now, stuff like that obviously always helps when you're trying to get a deal done, if there's someone already at the club that can talk to them. We had the same thing regarding the Ita links. Obviously, we've got Endo there that, you know, it's always a helpful asset to have that in the club. Makes the deal a little bit smoother, a little bit easier. So this story, as I said, it comes from First Group Media, which is the same outlet that reported on the Kefren Turam stories in the summer, if you remember those. Now, obviously, in terms of reliability here, you can sort of judge it yourself based on that. But what I will say about the Kefren Turam thing, although it didn't happen, Liverpool definitely held talks with Turam's agents that did happen, and it was ultimately Liverpool that walked away from that deal. So whilst it didn't happen, they weren't necessarily wrong in what they were reporting. So take from that what you will. But let's talk a little bit about the player. So Todibo, he is a centre-back, currently plays for Nice. He came through the Toulouse Youth Academy and he moved to Barca in 2019, but basically spent all of that time out on loan to Benfica and was eventually sold to Nice in 2021. He's 24 years old. Now, for comparison, Inacio, another player that we've been linked to, another centre-back, is 22 years old. For me, Inacio is probably the most ideal target that I've seen so far in terms of what Liverpool have been linked to. So Todibo's 24 years old. He's got an estimated transfer value of around 35 million euros, so about 30 million pounds. But there would be competition from the likes of United and Chelsea, who've also both been linked to the player. So if we were to try and buy him, I would expect it would go up in terms of that price, because there's probably going to end up in a bit more. We're talking about a next summer target here, don't forget. So clubs are going to have money, clubs are definitely going to be going into the market. Comparatively, Inacio has a 52 million release clause, so he's a lot cheaper than Inacio, granted, but he's also far less experienced, and he's also older by a couple of years, 24 years old. He's got 144 appearances at the top level, registering 3 goals and 2 assists in that time, which makes him much less of a goal threat. But he is a centre-back, so I guess that depends on you how much value you place in a centre-back and their goal-scoring ability. But it's certainly less than Ita and Inacio, who we've already been linked to. He's 6'2", which is an absolutely solid height, adds to our already imposing lineup, and perfect for a centre-back, perfect for the type of centre-back that Jurgen Klopp likes. So, you know, in terms of the balance there, I'd say there's some good and some bad, but he is a centre-back, so let's talk about his defensive stats. He's in the 92nd percentile for goals conceded and the 95th percentile for clean sheets kept, having kept 9 clean sheets in the 14 appearances he's made this season. Concedes an average of 0.51 goals per 90 minutes and has a 90% pass completion rate. So that shows me that he's capable of playing out from the back at least, which is definitely something Jurgen Klopp would be looking for in a Liverpool centre-back. Being in the 95th percentile for clean sheets kept and the 92nd for goals conceded is also really solid as well. Now, for me, I have to be honest, I really feel like Inacio is the better deal here. I know that he's more expensive, but it is a release clause, so we could activate that right now and we could have him in January, which I think is very important. Going to talk on that in a second. But he's also younger and he's far more experienced. He's more of a goal threat as well. He fits the side perfectly in terms of height and stature. All of that is the same. He's a perfect Jurgen Klopp build, but the longevity is there with a player that's only 22 years old, and on top of that has got more experience at the top level and is a bigger goal threat. He just seems like the better deal to me. 52 million release clause, and the importance for me is that January signing. I feel like Liverpool need a centre-back right now in this January window, and I'll tell you why, because our back line is currently decimated. We've got Joe Gomez playing as a fullback. We don't really have anyone on the right back. You know, Conor Bradley's come in, he's been great, but we're missing Trent big time. We're playing Kwanzaa as a centre-back because we've got no other options there. You know, Konate and Van Dijk, brilliant, but when one of them needs rotating, we're playing Kwanzaa. He's a kid. He's performing great, but he is a kid. And then you've got Joel Matip, who is basically out for the season, right? So, to me, this is where FSG need to step in, and if they were to buy a left-sided centre-back right now in this January window, he can play left-back for the rest of this month. You can move Joe Gomez back to that right back position. Start of February, you're talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold coming back, Andrew Robertson coming back, Kostas Tsimikas coming back, and now, you know, that decimated back line is suddenly alive and kicking again. Joel Matip's out for the rest of the season, but that doesn't matter because you've got this left-sided centre-back in, whoever it may be. Let's say it was Ignacio, he comes in. We've got the rotation options, we've got our fullbacks back, and everything's looking a lot better. And I just think that is the kind of signing, if FSG wanted to make a statement on this league title, that's the kind of signing that has to happen this month, not in the summer, because we need a centre-back right now. In the summer, I think we should be looking at the likes of Michael Olise or maybe something like João Palhinha, because, you know, you might, obviously, Wataru Endo, as good as he is clearly not a long-term option just purely due to his age. But I also think it's important we get someone in to rotate with Mo Salah, even just to learn off Mo Salah while he's here. Even if Mo Salah signs the extension, which, if you're not already aware of, we've got a video on that already on the channel, check that out. But even if Mo Salah signs the extension, I still think it's important we bring in a right wing backup in someone like Michael Olise. So I think they're the kind of summer signs we should be looking at, not a centre-back like Todibo. I think the centre-back needs to be bought this January, but it is interesting that we currently are being linked to a number of centre-backs. I think it's definitely an area that Liverpool are looking to bolster. So let me know what you guys think about this Todibo link. Would you wait till the summer to pick up something like this, or would you rather pick up a centre-back in this January transfer window? Let me know if you agree with me about this summer signings, the likes of Michael Olise and things like that, and get your comments down below. Make sure you give us a like if you haven't already, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to this channel, so we can keep you guys up to date as we go through this January transfer window and any links beyond that into the summer. And as always, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.